It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Muriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Obiajulu.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Happy anniversary. I wasn't here to celebrate it today.
I was celebrating.
Yes, happy anniversary to Your View. We're grateful to God that we're a part of this. Yeah. And thank you so much for taking us out for brunch yesterday. Yeah. It was a good time. We had a good time. We're sharing as sisters and not just colleagues. So we have grown beyond just working together, and I'm just happy where things are.
Fantastic. How is Mama Ejiro doing?
Fine. Episode 2, I think we've gotten over 1,000 views for episode 2 already. So more people are trickling in, they're watching. And I hope it grows, because we have to start getting returns at some point.
Yeah. Once you're consistent, you'll be good. Hello, Nima. I see you're launching your book already.
My own is inside my bag.
We live in a different way. I have a sister, a daughter that thinks she's my sister. So yesterday she opened the box, she ate the chocolate, put this one in her bag, took my flask, and so me too just went back. I returned everything, washed the flask last night, put the water for this morning, washed the straw, put the straw. I carried my daughter. Mommy, so I'm not getting anything. I said, you have used it. It's your time. I have to start using my properties now before she will start to inherit them. But it was so much fun yesterday hanging out. I loved it, the experience, and I loved the food.
Yeah. It was good.
So look at the leakages. We're just looking at her face.
There was no amala on the menu. No pounded yam, no afan.
I put time. You survived.
I survived. So I made it yesterday. So I'm looking forward to see my best friend for many years. She's in the country.
Okay.
And we've not seen her in 15 years. Yes. She came for her mother-in-law's birthday. And I'm so excited. I'm just imagining, how the hug and all
Bring her to TV, Senator Yovina. Let us greet her.
Let's ask her to tell us the real Nima. Tell us the real Nima.
About Nigeria is our shopping experience. So she's going to the local markets.
Imagine.
To shop. But I'm hoping to catch up with her later.
Nice. How are you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing fine. Just like everyone has talked about, yesterday was just fabulous. I mean, it was one of the best days of my life. Thank you, Muriah, for just being a beautiful and sweet and just truly loving person.
Thank you.
And just so you know, we truly love you. Just thank you for being here.
From the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you. I love the green, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very classy. Such a classy being.
I'm telling you, the lady in the midst.
Seriously.
The only lady in the midst.
Today is her independence, you know.
After other food, do you know Bisi went home to eat pounded yam?
Pounded yam, better pangas. I used to go beg.
And she heard all the shout I was making. If I seen pounded yam yesterday, of course.
You don't stay close to me.
You would have been sending food.
Honestly.
Me, I was like, I cannot eat. But I had a golden melon. I really like golden melon. It's a really nice fruit. That yellow one.
Yes, it's a combination of... I'm still struggling to understand that fruit.
But I really didn't eat. I had only lobster. Yeah. It wasn't that heavy. You people ate meat, so you were full.
And I didn't finish my... I couldn't finish my meal.
Good. Nice hanging out. Okay, let's go on a break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. What Tinubu told APC screening panel by aid. Wike slams PDP South governors for betraying him. 2023 polls, rising food prices threaten economy. IMF warns. Businessman arrested over importation of fake malaria drugs. EFCC charges Okorocha with 2.9 billion naira fraud. Titan Trust completes acquisition of Union Bank. Why I visited Wiki Sarakitamboa by article. Okay, which story are we starting with in Nation?
IMF?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so according to the IMF, that's the International Monetary Fund, they are warning that we have a lot of soaring food prices, and you know, it's going to be a threat also as we prepare for the general elections that's going to be happening next year. So they put a report titled Persisting Insecurity. And they said one of the issues we have is the banditry and kidnapping, which may affect the performance of the 2023 elections. They said we also have a problem of high energy prices, spending pressures with a narrow fiscal space as part of the problems that are bedeviling us in the country. And they said other downside risks are low vaccination rates, monetary tightening in advanced economies, muted foreign investment inflows, and exchange rate pressures. And said all of these things are, aside from the shock we had from COVID-19 that happened, they are sort of stifling our economy, and we need to do more. They also mentioned the fact that the government needs to find ways to pay back the debts that we are accruing. So it's not enough to still have a bandwidth wherein we can take in more debts, but we need to plan to be able to pay back those debts. And we're not really making enough revenue to handle the paying back of the debt, and that's one of the major issues that we have.
Alede Suleiman was reviewing the papers, and it woke me up to reality. You know, the NNPC have continued to give us a deficit balance. They've not really remitted anything into the national coffers because they have been saying they use the monies for running NNPC. So we've really not been exchanging any of our resources for anything. We don't export anything. We're not a productive country. And so the Naira will continue to fall steadily, whether we like it or not. And that reality, in fact, I was just
painful
just hearing it.
Okay, so Governor of Rivers State, Wike, was reflecting. I mean, many feel that he put up a good fight at the PDP presidential primaries that they had recently. He was reflecting, saying that he was betrayed, that many of his colleagues from the South, that many of them aligned with Atiku against him. He further went on to say that those who aligned with the region that's ganged up against their southern governors region had inadvertently chosen to remain perpetual slaves. According to him, he wanted to be on record that he stood for the ground that enough is enough, and that this country does not belong to just one particular zone, and that he's happy he stood his ground. I would say, according to him, he's done his own part. He said it's not in their blood to betray anybody, but he was indeed betrayed by many of his counterparts from the South. He was just really reflecting and wasn't happy. They had hosted him to a dinner in the South because I think he fought a good fight, and I think this is a game of numbers all the time.
He did, yes.
He fought a good fight, but he didn't work on his person. So there's a part of having money.
Well, in Nigeria, is a wiki, like that's wiki action. You know, there's a
we need a wiki when you get there. But before you get there,
you must be like a lamb.
Must be able
to wise as serpents and harmless as doves. You just have to.
Man, I can just imagine wiki at least.
So Peter Obi, all the the flag bearer for Labour Party as the president for these elections, and amazingly, you know, the Labour Party is rich with technocrats. You had people just stepping down. Professor Patutomi stepped down for him. Another person stepped down for him within the party. People who had other ambitions within the party, and yesterday their conversion was simple, easy, and you know.
I'm happy for him. You have a story, Nation?
Yes. So a businessman, a 32-year-old businessman, Obinna Igbo, has been arrested for an alleged importation of and sale of fake Amanta Fort. That's an unregistered anti-malaria drug. And they said that the businessman has been arraigned before the court for unlawful importation, possession, sale, and distribution of this drug. And he was selling it at the Head Bridge Market, Onitsha, in Anambra State. He also had it at, they said he sold the fake drugs at shop E200 Freedom Line, Onitsha, Head Bridge Market, after importing it into the consignment, just for those who may have gone to that particular place to buy this drug. And I'm happy that NAFDAC says that, you know, they're going to see this to the very end. It's important that we read these stories, we know about them on time, because families would have gone to buy these drugs without really understanding.
When someone says I'm a businessman, you just think, what kind of business is he doing? What business is he doing? Importing fake drugs. Okay, moving on quickly to the Punch presidential primary screening. APC questions Tinubu, Umahi, Bakari, others on foreign citizenship and consensus. Very picture here, I think for me, is a heartbreaking picture of Okorocha engaging 5 sons. Court hears bail application today. Lagos surgeons killed my inspector husband with a sword, says widow. Obi would have been my presidential running mate, says Kwakonso. 2 Ekiti men to die by hanging for robbing 53-year-old lecturer. Ogun community laments harassment by child beggars, demands relocation. Disco's, Genco's others revenue shortfall rises to 1.6 trillion actually. I can't be second-class citizen, says Wiki. Article begins reconciliation. Methodist prelate others regain freedom 24 hours after abduction. Nigeria buys 68.19 million SIMs in 4 years, says NCC. Okay.
Yeah, let me take the story of the prelate that has been released. We took the story yesterday that they had been kidnapped, but even though the paper says at the time of this report, we don't have the full details of their release, but from a very reliable source from the church says, to God be the glory, His Eminence Dr. Samuel Chukwuemeka Kanu Uche, his chaplain, Very Reverend Abidemi Jeremiah Shitu, and the Bishop of Owerri, Right Reverend Dennis Mark, have regained their freedom a few minutes ago. Thank you all for your prayers. So we do not know if they were rescued or if they were just let go, if these kidnappers were apprehended. But, I mean, good news
that they have been released.
To know that they are back.
Yeah. So a police sergeant Ukeme Asoko on Monday appeared before Justice O.H. Oshodi of the Ikeja High Court over alleged murder of a police inspector, Francis Adekunle. According to the story, he said it was the detectives from the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department, Yaba Lagos, that arrested the sergeant for allegedly inflicting machete cuts on the inspector. So when the wife came on the stand to narrate the story, it says that that particular evening, I think about 8 p.m., she was outside trying to dispose of their refuse. And then the sergeant just walks to her and says that he wanted to see her. So she was asking, why do you want to see me? He said, just follow me, I want to see you. And so she refused to follow him. You have to tell me the reason I have to see you. And the sergeant walked into the compound and locked the gate, so locking her outside. So she raised an alarm. One of the neighbors came out to open the gate for her, and the sergeant started attacking that one. Why are you opening the gate? So in that noise, her husband came out, and then the sergeant all of a sudden took a sword and started chasing both of them. So she went somewhere and hid. And before she realized it, somebody came to call her that your husband has just been killed. That's the inspector was killed. And by the time she got there, the inspector was in a pool of blood. The man had run away, but he's been picked up. The case has been adjourned, though they have not told us the reason that made him kill that man. But I'm sure as the case progresses, we'll hear more of that.
That was in medieval times. What are you holding with a sword?
Let's just restore our trust in the judiciary.
Yes.
2 men have been sentenced to death by hanging in Ekiti. According to the story, in 2015, they attacked a woman, a lecturer in the university in Ado-Ekiti there. Both of them, one is Fakore Deolawale, 36 years old, and Tunji Olaiton, 39 years old. They attacked her in 2015. They attempted to rape her. They attempted to murder her.
Wow.
They robbed her with arms. They cut her with machete. In fact, they had targeted her head. And so she had to dodge, using her hand to block her. She had machete cuts all over her. And they took some of her possessions. They attempted to rape her, but her phone rang, and that, sort of distracted them. But they successfully carried out the robbery, and they left. And she reported to the police. The police, someone that noticed what was happening, called the police. They responded on time. They rescued her, which is how we like the stories to go. Took her to the hospital, treated her, then went after these 2 criminals, arrested them, prosecuted them successfully to the point that they got this conviction. Since 2015, so they followed the trail. 2022, there's a final conviction. Both of them found on all counts, and on the count of the armed robbery, they've been sentenced to death by hanging. So the system works if we just
let
do
it.
our part.
Okay, so let's go. You have a story in Punch?
Yes, I have a story.
Let me take one.
Yes, so residents of Arepo are lamenting the security threats posed by the influx of child beggars around the Arepo Bridge. This is in Obafemi Owode local government area of Ogun State. And they said that while they carried out investigations, they found that the beggars were mostly adults, children who were living in those shanties just around the bridge, and they were cooking, sleeping there. They don't have proper toilets. They don't have, good health facilities. They're just hanging around in those areas. And most of these beggars came all the way from Jigawa, Katsina, Nasarawa, Kwara, and Kano, those who had run away from the insurgency in their state. So they are asking, residents are asking that the government does something about them in those areas, that there's another land that they wanted to take them to, like a virgin land where they can help settle them so that they will have better means of livelihood in those areas.
In Lagos? There's no land in Lagos.
I don't know. They mentioned, no, that's Ogun State.
Okay,
that's
okay,
Ogun State,
right.
yeah.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue with the reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. You had a story. There was a story I wanted to take that really was Okorocha's story. And it was more about his facial expression. Yes, I read the story where he's actually, he's demanding that the court should declare illegal the invasion of his house. When the EFCC came saying that they didn't have a warrant for the arrest, and the EFCC...
They didn't have a warrant.
And he was also saying that the invasion, let me try to read exactly what he said. The invasion of his residence was illegal, yeah. And also, there was another thing that so his lawyer, Dr. Michael Zekome, was insisting that they were going to sue for ₦1 billion, the federal government, for that illegal invasion. Although some have said that, according to Section 12, Subsection 2 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, says that they are allowed to break in. I didn't even know that. They could. Once somebody has been arrested, the person or police can offer and enter the house or the place for a search of a suspect to be arrested. And even when they can't get in, they can break in any outer or inner door or window to access. So that's according to the Criminal Justice Act. But either way, what was more for me for the story was his facial expression. You could see it was almost like regrets. The fact that there's people that he can't trust, or he feels that maybe there's something wrong. I don't know. He just feels like he needs a bit of attention at this point.
His lawyers should have advised him well when he decided not to show up in court after the administrative.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done what he did. I agree with you. Okay, let's move on quickly now to the next paper. This is the Nigerian Tribune. Tinubu, Amechi, Amosu, Bakari, others face APC screening. Peter Obi emerges Labour Party candidate. APC primaries. Controversies persist in Osun, Oyo, Ogun, and Ondo. I almost scuttled PDP presidential primary, says Wike. Ekiti government nullifies installation of traditional ruler. Methodist Church prelates regains freedom. IMF declares Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio of 76%. My scariest moment was when I ran out of water in Mauritania, says Adeyanju, London to Lagos biker. Train attack. My son is a sickler. I don't know his condition now. Obshiba Joe's classmate cries out. And no Nigerian territory was attacked by Cameroonian separatists, says army. Train attack. My son is a sick. Yeah, I think I took that already. Okay, any story?
Let me take the train attack. So the terrorists have released another video, and in the video are 7 people, and one of them is an elderly woman who was appealing to the federal government to intervene in their situation. She said they've been there 62 days, as we're all aware, and she also said she has a child who is a sickler, and she doesn't even know what his condition is right now. Another person who was in the video, Sadiq Ango Abdullahi, he's the son of the chairman of Northern Elders Forum, Professor Ango Abdullahi. He was also appealing to the government to help with their situation. He says that many of them are sick, they're really living in very bad condition, and that the government should help them before they start losing their lives. Interestingly, Sadiq also, while in captivity, won the PDP primaries, that was just done.
Okay.
So we're hoping the federal government would quickly do something for these lives.
Okay, moving on quickly now to Daily Trust. Oyegun-led committee grills Tinubu, Umahi, Amechi, Badru, others. Abuja, Kaduna train attackers issue fresh threat as children found. Imo traders defy IPOB sit-at-home open stores. Abuja couple disappointed as wife on contraceptive gives birth to quadruplets. How Buhari's men lost out in Kano APC primaries. Presidency, Southwest APC leaders in final push for consensus candidate. And World Tobacco Day, smoking kills 29,000 Nigerians annually. Okay, PC.
So traders in Owerri, the Imo State capital, yesterday shunned the weekly Monday sit-at-home as they opened their stores for business. They said, however, the banks, the schools, and major commercial centers remain closed, but some of the traders decided to go out and sell because, according to one of the, someone who wanted to be anonymous said that they can't keep doing this, and this was not going to help their economy. This was not going to help them as survivors, that they need to make money before hunger kills them, and so they decided to go out in the market and start selling. So, hopefully they would reduce or even stop, because IPOB on several occasions have said that they have opened up the Monday sit-at-homes, that people can go out. But then when people come out and they start to sell, you see unknown gunmen coming to enforce the sit-at-home. So it's a bit scary for most traders to open their shops. So some people decided to say, we want to test the waters. We just want to see what happens. We can't keep closing our stores and, keeping our businesses down in the name of sit-at-homes when the leaders are saying, today there's sit-at-home, tomorrow there's no sit-at-home. So I believe that they should just decide what do they want to do in the Southeast, basically. So
the Southwest are coming together. Leaders from the Southwest are making frantic efforts to get the consensus candidate. And this is obviously because recently the PDP had chosen Atiku Abubakar. And now the APC must decide between June 6th and 8th who the presidential aspirant or ticket holder would be. And there's a huge conversation over how to arrive at that consensus. So the flag bearers, obviously, we have the Fayemis, we have the former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju, we have the vice president, we have Amechi, and the Southwest is saying amongst those from the Southwest, they need to have a conversation to see who is most appropriate and who can actually beat Atiku, because that's the real conversation. Who has the clout, the capacity, the experience, and the ability to be able to defeat Atiku Abubakar in the coming election. So that's the conversation, and it's a tough one because everybody feels that they are competent enough to get that position. Between now and the next few days, they must decide. They're hoping that more people will step down, the others will step down. Hopefully, we'll find out who the final person is before the next few days.
Yeah. World Tobacco Day. So the Center for the Study of the Economies of Nigeria has, given us some very, very important data. It says that smoking kills 29,000 Nigerians annually, and that the Nigerian government spends 52 billion naira every year, to help with tobacco-induced diseases. It says, and this is a huge economic burden for us as a country, and that even though, government earns some money from tobacco, it's just 10% from the tobacco taxes, which really doesn't make much sense given the ill effect of, tobacco on our health and in our environment. It says the production of tobacco releases about 84 megatons of carbon dioxide. And because of this, many countries, especially the global north, have stopped production in their countries. And so they have moved their production offices to countries like our country, low income, middle income countries like ours, where production is going on and all the carbon monoxide is out,
released in the air,
released in our own air. And even it says that apart from that, yes, that the government tries to send the message of no smoking and things like that, but we have some Nigerian shows. They mentioned a particular show that shows people smoking, young people, older people are like smoking on that show, that this does not send the right message. And so they're asking government to find different ways to sort of curb the use of cigarettes and smoking. And so they've said that government should put levies, environmental levies on companies that produce cigarettes and things like that, and importation of tobacco leaves.
Yeah, so gunmen invaded the premises of Anambra Broadcasting Service, Awada Onitsha station yesterday, and they said they brutalized some staff members who were on night duty. So according to an eyewitness, said the gunmen burnt a building, a company bus, and another vehicle parked on the premises. However, no life was lost in the attack, but the eyewitnesses stressed that they brutalized members of staff on the premises and they were flogging them with canes. So a lot of them had different injuries on their body. The public relations officer has said that they know about the attack, and thankfully no life was lost, but they're going to continue investigation to find these gunmen who have come to do this.
Okay, we have one more story?
Yes. A couple in Abuja.
The quadruplets.
Yes. So Mr. and Mrs. Christopher Apple, first of all, we congratulate them. They have just been blessed.
Okay, I should have said Mashiu. Okay,
understand.
Congratulations. Go ahead, please.
They've just been blessed with quadruplets, but they had 5 children before this.
Wow.
Now I see why.
The husband was saying that he had, after their 5 children, they had gone to the hospital, spoken to the hospital about getting contraceptives. They put his wife on a contraceptive. And the man says, but they found that it was not working. I don't know how they found. So they now went to a pharmacy that now gave them drugs, and they bought drugs from there to help with the contraception. And after they started taking those drugs, they found out that she was pregnant. They said they went to 2 different places, and it was confirmed that not only was she pregnant, but she was pregnant with 4.
Hey,
the hospital where they got the contraception from says, well, if they had followed if they had followed it properly, this would not have happened. So it could be because they didn't trust that first treatment, and they added whatever drugs.
And they were doing.
So they backed it up.
A lot of couples, please keep that matter.
They were doing.
That's all we can take on front page review. I mean, listen, I'm sure there are governments who help us. 9 children is not easy.
There's vasectomy.
Yeah, vasectomy. The man should consider vasectomy. If the contraceptive is not working, your wife.
Then you double it.
Cheaper.
Vasectomy is easier and cheaper.
It's cheaper and takes like
begin to consider
5 minutes, 2 minutes.
Okay, let's go on a break now. We'll come back, move on to an important topic. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. After a fierce contest for the ticket of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar emerged as the presidential candidate for the main opposition party for the coming elections. To join us on the show right now to have this conversation is Chief Dele Momodu, PDP's presidential aspirant at the just concluded primary. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, and how are you?
So, we're going to go straight into it because there's a lot of questions I want to ask you. And one of the key questions I'd like to start with is the fact that many agreed that these elections should come down south, especially because they feel it's the turn of the southern president. And we saw that you campaigned, so many were happy to see many aspirants coming in from the southern part of the country, across all parties, for this position. You campaigned extensively. We saw you going around the country. We saw you trying to win people to come over to vote for you. Unfortunately, you didn't get a vote. And aside from the fact that we know it's Atiku, it was quite disappointing to many people in the southern part that a southerner did not get that ticket, especially from the PDP. Why is that so, and how did that make you feel?
I wasn't surprised.
Okay.
I deal with facts. I believe the South or the southern aspirants did not work together. And I had warned on March 30, 2022, I wrote a message to Governor Wike. He's my very good friend. Fantastic governor, one of the best in Nigeria. We call him Mr. Projects, and I stayed in Port Harcourt in the last 1.5 years, working with him, rebranding him and all that. But the moment I declared my interest, we got strained. So that was when I suspected that he wanted to run. He didn't tell anybody he wanted to run. But I knew he wanted to run. And I sent him a letter. I've always done that. In 1991, I wrote a letter to Chief Abiola. Nearly 2 years before he declared, I knew from his moves that he wanted to run. And I gave him my advice. Chief Abiola listened. He called me in. We had a meeting. And, Dele, why did you write what I said? So, and so. But in Wike's case, he ignored my letter. I copied 2 people. I copied Chief Michael Zekome, SAN. I copied former Minister of Justice and Attorney General, Mr. Mohamed Aduke. Both of them have the letter. And I told him, I said, I love the fact that you are fighting for power to come to the South. But you cannot be the sole beneficiary of that battle. And I gave him, I said, a lot of people will be lying to you because they want your money, but they are going to gang up against you. A lot of them are envious of you. A lot of them believe you are too strong a character. So I wished we had the opportunity to take it further. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. Then 2 weeks ago, if you check this day, 2 Saturdays ago, I write for this day every Saturday. I wrote again. I said, Governor Wike, this is what will happen. You see, in Nigeria today, and I'm not being immodest, I'm one of the most networked human beings.
You know. You don't have to say it.
So I have access to people, and I have access to information. I've gone everywhere, from Maiduguri to Sokoto. There is no palace in Yoruba land where I cannot sleep. Oba Bini had received me. So I had ample information about what was going on. So I wrote. I said, Governor Wike, you remember the letter I wrote that I copied Adoke and Ozekome, both of them senior advocate of Nigeria? I said, this is what will happen. They are going to gang up against you.
But they're also ganging up against you. You're also from the
South.
No, together.
They didn't gang up against me because it was a game of money. Sometimes you spend your money to promote good causes. You spend your money not for you to be the sole beneficiary. Whatever little I make, I spend the bulk of it on other people. If, for example, my dear brother, Wike, chose a Dele Momodu, say, look, this man is from South. My father is Edo. My mother is Oshun. So I cover 2 zones already.
Well,
out of 3 in the South. And then with my credentials, global contacts, accomplishments, and you say this is who we're presenting, and you bring all the governors and say, Dele is a good material. That's what happens. That's why an Obama would emerge. The Kennedys, the Oprah Winfreys had money to say, we want to run. But they didn't run. They spent their resources to back up a brilliant gentleman. A man who practically is a Kenyan. Obama is a Kenyan. In the true sense of the word. So, just a minute, man. So what I tried to do was to say, let Nigerians begin to invest in good people. But today, in fact, only one of our governors in the South ever welcomed me. The others, you send message, they ignore. You call, they don't pick. So, but I knew that the day of reckoning would come. And it did come last Saturday.
Would you say that, they didn't believe in your candidacy?
No. It's all about every human being has a tinge of selfishness in him.
Yeah. So,
Number 2, we don't respect intellect in Nigeria. We respect money. And that is what came to play.
Governor Wike, when he answered that, let's talk serious issues, when he was asked about your candidacy or your aspirations, would you say that he meant you didn't have the money to play the game?
Of course. And that's, who is Dele? Because I could have responded. But I am a loyal party man. When he dismissed me on Sheon Okinbaloye's program, I smiled. People called me and said, oh, Dele, Wike has dismissed you. I said, don't worry. On Saturday, Sunday, he will know who his true friend is. I'm his true friend. I knew everything that happened, I predicted to the letter.
All right, we have a lot of questions for you. Go ahead, Mariam.
Okay, so if, given the fact that somehow the North know how to galvanize themselves to the end, a lot of people have specifically pointed to Tambuwal as being an ally of Wike and would have thought there would have been a collaboration towards him instead of towards Atiku. What is the thing, because I've asked this for so many years, what is the thing that makes it hard for Southern, political players to come together and form a consensus for a party member or someone that they can pick and say, we'll stay behind you and then you do this for us?
Lack of political maturity. I wrote about it also, that if Chief Obafemi Awolowo and Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe had worked together, Shagari would never have been president. People don't even read their history. I spent 2 nights with the Sultan in Sokoto, sitting with him, learning from him. He took me out. Even during his speech, he stopped. He said he will give Dele 2 minutes. You must build, I said it from the beginning of the race, that whosoever will be the president in 2023 must go and study the Abiola template. The Abiola template was to reach everybody in Nigeria, was to befriend everybody in Nigeria. On my phone, if I show you, I have an application. I have 66,000 Nigerians from every local government in Nigeria that have touched one person or the other in that location. There is no part of Nigeria. When I went to Maiduguri, I slept in Kashim Imam Ibrahim. He's a top APC man, the chairman of TEDFON, one of the closest friends of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, APC. He left his bedroom. That's Abiola template for you. But our governors believe that everything must begin and end with governor. Even today, as I was coming here, I was looking at newspapers. They say, governor this, governor that, will be vice president. It means we don't even take our people into
consideration.
No. Look, Chief Obasanjo said in the military they told them not to reinforce failure. How can you be promoting a governor who has not succeeded in his state and then say the next thing he deserves is to go to the next class to be VP? So, if we take the people into consideration, everywhere I went to see Sheikh Gumi in Kaduna, he said hardcore politicians will not save Nigeria. I agree. Look, now we have Alhaji Atiku, one of the most accomplished politicians in Nigeria. But if you are going to back him up, then you need someone in the mold of an Oshibajo.
To balance it.
To balance it. But already they are zeroing in, and the people lobbying are the same governors. So when you have 2 hardcore politicians, one of the reasons I told Wike that you're not likely to be president was because people were saying he was too hot-headed. And you know people will use it against you. I said, he got angry. He said, how can I say so? That I'm using a newspaper to terrorize him. I said, he's using dollar to terrorize me. When we met, we started joking. I said, you are using dollar to terrorize me. But this is what I have, newspapers. That's the only way I can inform you. Yes.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we have a few more questions for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Yes, PC, let me start with you.
Yes. So now that Atiku has emerged the presidential candidate for the PDP, it seems like the party has jettisoned zoning. Do you foresee like an implosion that will happen in the party? Or how is everybody taking it?
Well, the party has enough machinery to reunite the winner with the aggrieved. And they've already started. I think yesterday they went to see Governor Nyesom Wike. They're talking to different people. I left Abuja yesterday, so I haven't met with our candidate yet. I'm resuming in my office this morning in Ikeja because I have a job to return to. I've always been a part-time politician. So those who want to live and die by politics, they are free. But I believe all of us will unite and make sure that the candidate wins.
Okay, so we'll come back to this issue of politics. I mean, we're still talking about it, but I want you now, as a journalist, what are your own permutations about the APC? Because their primaries are coming up this weekend, and people are thinking, and the Southwest leaders are saying, listen, they were trying to get a consensus because of all the happening. Going by the fact that Atiku is your own party's flag bearer, in your view, how do you think APC should come together to get the person, that one person, that can actually be stand head to head with Atiku?
You see, I think we like to make a fetish of big manism in Nigerian politics. I saw one comedian dishing me yesterday. Oh, Dele could not get a vote. Dele could not get. I said, comedian, your mate, a comedian in Ukraine, is president. Anybody can be president. You see, politics is a means to leadership, while leadership is the end of politics. Listen again. Politics is a means to leadership. Leadership is the end. Anybody can be president of Nigeria for as long as, 1, you are well educated, 2, you are cosmopolitan, 3, you are tolerant, 4, you are intelligent, 5, you are a go-getter. It's not about how long you have stayed in politics. People are expecting that the person who must win the next election must be the oldest in politics, must be the richest in politics, must be... That's why Nigeria is in a mess. What we need are men and women of accomplishment. Yeah. What have you done in your life? I said something the other day. I said when I was entering WAEC school start, that was the year Yahya Bello was born. He's governor today. 1975, he was born. That was the year I was in Form 5. But today, because he is governor, he is far more relevant than anybody who is not governor. I've operated in over 60 countries. It's relevant in Nigeria. World leaders are asking and meeting with Dele Momodu and receiving him. He is irrelevant in Nigeria for as long as you are not a senator and you are not a governor. So the APC thing you are talking about, I believe, I may be wrong, I'm quite radical. I believe they may be looking for a northerner, thinking that is the person who can neutralize or match Atiku. Wow. I think that would be a mistake on their part, but I don't want to give them free or the joke.
Yes.
You know.
So, you know, I would like to just go back to a previous question I asked you. I sort of mentioned it. But, you know, Governor Aminu Tambuwal, many people actually thought that he has enough following to run for president in his own capacity. Even though this alliance wasn't too much of a surprise, but do you think, in your own opinion, that he could have, you know, he would have given Atiku a run for his money?
You see, I'm a very straight shooter. I was for a younger candidate. And in principle, I'm very strategic because I'm an intellectual. I'm not a hardcore politician. And from my own permutation, the only way we will dislodge APC is if we're able to galvanize the young Nigerians, first-time voters. That's how it's done everywhere else. So you must bring someone whose message can resonate with the young ones. So I was thinking that Tambuwal will be a major force on that platform. He's 56, very well educated. He started as a teacher, became a lawyer, and then speaker. Speaker House of Reps means he has friends and foot soldiers in every federal constituency in Nigeria. And I hope PDP will hold him very well. is very relevant. I went to see him in Sokoto, and he took me in his car, just the two of us. He was driving, I was his passenger, and we drove around Sokoto. So I know him well now. But the powers that be, I propounded the theory of the owners of Nigeria, 1998, 99. The powers that be are afraid that a Tambua may not have the financial muscle to execute the project. And Atiku, he has worldwide contacts. He's been a top-notch businessman. So the only thing that was working against him was, okay, probably people were saying age. But physically, he looks fit. You could see him dancing, disco yesterday and all that. So you will need to get a Tambua and the rest of us together to make sure that we defeat APC.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the issues that, people had problems with in the PDP generally. Number one is that, the jettisoned zoning. And we know there's a region that, is long overdue. It's on the tongues of every Nigerian, wondering when will it happen. Why was this not, in the thoughts of party leaders to the extent that, yourself from Southwest also had an ambition? Reason is because I want to quote this politician who said, because of Southwesterners coming out, the Southeast will not support anybody from this region. They'd rather join the North. Yes. And so maybe that would, be the reason why we
the fact that even came out
you've already
betrayed that trust
of a Southeasterner. It's not time.
Politics is not served a la carte. Politics, power, is a buffet. You go there.
You pick.
You pick. If you go too late, you might not find, maybe you just find some remnants. I knew that even the Easterners may not support their own. I knew. Peter Obi is my very good friend. I have tremendous regards for him. We live 5 minutes apart in Lagos. He's someone I admire, but I knew his own people were not going to vote for him. And when you look at the voting pattern, it's the nature of man. Self-preservation. Most people in Nigeria are not interested in service. That is why people like me are very few in politics. People just want to go there. What is the need for me? They already knew that we always hype up the big man. So what they will do is follow one of the big men. So what happened last Saturday, Sunday, was that our people followed big man Atiku and Money Man Wike.
Or they followed the dollars.
That's all.
Because, no, sir.
I told them that I cannot pay any delegate 1 kobo. So my summary, when I did not score anything, was to say I paid for nothing, so I got nothing. Yeah. Wow. I can't complain. I didn't pay for anything. So if anybody voted for me, in fact, I would have been surprised.
Let me ask you why you have said that you know that the Igbos will not support themselves. Is it not high time? Because, they keep saying that they have been marginalized, and when they are expected to pull resources together and pick one person who they can all back up, we don't see that. Why, in your own, you are a journalist, what have you noticed about them?
No, it's not about Igbo. It's about every human being. I have been one of the biggest champions of Igbo nation. I'm the only Nigerian today who is a politician mentioned by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu February last year that if you will choose anybody to be president, it will be Dele Momodu. I'll send you the video. You see, the thing is that your salvation does not lie in the hands of a member of your family. It's somewhere else. That's why some of us are contesting. I didn't want to contest, but I knew what was going to happen. That if the Southerners don't present good candidates, we're going nowhere. For me, the 2 of the best, I'm not saying we're the best, the 2 of the best in PDP was myself and Peter Obi.
Now, let me
and he had to abscond.
Let me stay on Peter Obi for a second, because he has moved on to Labour Party. Now, I'm talking to you now as a journalist again, because I would say if Nigerians, if Peter Obi is one of our best, can Nigeria pull off what was pulled off, maybe what Trump pulled off by getting these new votes that nobody even knew existed? You know, does Peter Obi have a chance to get the new 18-year-olds, to get the new voters, the educated voters, to come out and say, you know what, we are all going for LP, and it's the candidate we're going to pick?
Is it possible?
That would be a delusion of grandeur.
Oh, wow.
I was in Labour. I started my journey from Labour. Nigerian politicians are everywhere. They have proliferated everywhere. They have infiltrated everywhere. The first thing Obi will face in Labour, he would have to fund the party. The party does not have money. Wow. And Nigerians don't make contributions. After I lost the first 10 million, I started shaking when I was in Labour. 10 million. They said they were setting up structures. But he has to now set up structures. They don't have structures.
Hi.
That's why I told my friends, Kingsley Moghalu, Omoyele Sowore, Peter Obi, Donald Duke, ask any of them if I did not want them. You cannot win a presidential election from a fringe local party.
In Nigeria.
Most places in the world. Even Donald Trump, with all his billions, he had to go and hijack the Republican Party. He needed the structures. Ross Perot tried it as an independent candidate. He lost.
Yeah.
With his billions. Look, you cannot, he doesn't have that. He has money. Peter Obi has money, unlike me. I'm just a reporter. But can Peter Obi spend his hard-earned money on fighting an Atiku or fighting a Tinubu if he emerges in APC? He can't.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have our guest with us, Chief Dele Momodu. Yes, very much a question.
Sir, you see, when it comes to the way politics is done in our country, I'm just not a fan. And recently, we've been hearing politicians describe delegates as bandits. We hear some of them are running after them to collect the monies that they gave them so that they could vote for them, but ended up not voting. So they are insisting that their money is returned. What do you think of this process where delegates become money hungry and then they serve the money, or sometimes either they take the money and they don't serve the money, you know? And this, so when we have that situation where the delegate determine who would be presented finally, based on how much money they got from that person, then you now come to the electorate. So you now hand over to the electorate someone who was given to them, not because of, you know, the content of their character, not because of the work they have done, not because of their experience, but because they were able to pay money. And then you're giving the electorate no choice, really, but to pick amongst this. What do you think? Is this the best way to do politics?
Look, you have to be practical. Who in Nigeria today, who is poor, would be giving $20,000 at this time and will not be tempted? Until you have been tempted, you will know what your reaction will be.
Yeah.
I made up my mind that even if I have that money, I will not pay. Because I cannot say I want to change my country and I will be the one corrupting the people. So my own mantra was take the money. It belongs to you, but vote your conscience. But they took the money. I don't know
if they voted
their conscience. So the issue of money, my own advice is that maybe there must be another electoral reform, whereby we have something like what the Russians call the Politburo. You gather maybe one representative from each state. That's 36 plus Abuja 37. So they are not too plenty. And they must be at the level of maybe BOT, NEC members. Right. So they are distinguished people who cannot be easily intimidated with money.
Right.
Maybe.
In Nigeria, they don't give them more money now.
No. There are people. We have Trust me, I have not lost hope on Nigeria. No. I'm just saying, maybe. You see, you have to try everything to get what you want.
What works. So let me ask you, sir, what's going to happen to your presidential aspiration? Are you going to forget about it? Do you have any plans of joining another party to see this happen? I'm
a loyal party man. I remain in PDP. I'm going nowhere. I've reached my boss. Unless PDP decides to break itself up. That's it. But for as long as there is PDP, where am I going?
So
I'm 62.
Let me ask you about...
I don't know. God obviously has his plans for everybody. I don't know, but I will support our candidate. I will support our candidate. That's all.
Someone in media, if because of your wealth of experience that you've talked about, and you said you're a loyal party man, the party decides that final, you have been assigned certain duties in the campaign of
ministry or the going minister or something.
No. In the campaign of Atiku now as their flag bearer, what would you?
I've said it that I will support our candidate
for him
fully, free of charge. I supported him in 2019. I was not a member of PDP when I supported Atiku in 2019.
Let's talk about this.
When I supported Buhari, I wasn't a member of APC. I support based on the principle that, okay, I think this person will be better.
Will deliver.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this governorship cabal, because I really worry about the governor's influence in this entire process. I remember I read the book, Okonjo Iweala had said the fact that the governors were the ones that insisted, when they wanted to save the money.
They said no.
They said no, they wanted to share it.
Yeah.
They wanted to give it to the Sovereign Wealth Fund at the time.
Yes.
So she was complaining about how the influence of these governors, they refused to let Nigeria save. These same governors are now, they have a role to play in this whole electoral process where they're determining who becomes, or who takes on this position. In your view, now as a journalist again, observing and a highly influential person, how can we, I don't want to use the word cut down the influence of this governor, but what can we do to reduce the influence of this governor on our policy, on our polity?
Nothing. You see, power is like sugar. Wherever there is sugar, hands will move in that direction. So wherever you have a governor, there is power, there is money. So everybody moves towards them. So that's why they look down on some people. So if you are not ready, if you see the way people grovel in front of some of these governors, I think at our level, I've been dealing with governors for how many years? At 23 in 1983, I was already a private secretary to Chief Akomobodo. When Ondo State was a combination of Ondo and Ekiti, 1983, some of the governors were probably in primary school or secondary school. But today, you cannot speak to some governors. And that's where you have to take a bow that northern governors, they play politics because they know how to come down to everybody's level. And they respect old age. Tambuwa sees me everywhere. He's not supposed to call me anything else than maybe Chief Dele or Mr. Dele or Dr. Dele. He calls me Egbon. That's another one for you. How will you not relate to such a person? They come down to every level. But our own, once you become governor, you can call your grandmother anything. You can see that's Tambuwa there on television.
You will buga.
So we need to reassess ourselves. That being a governor does not make you alpha and omega.
Yeah, but I asked the question earlier. I said, what are some of these things that we can learn from the northern counterparts?
That's one of them I've just told you, humility.
Yes.
Look, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, I've met him 3 times or so in the last couple of weeks. In fact, in the last 1 week, I met him twice. Dele Presido, the video went viral. You will see him mixing with everybody. Look, that's what Abiola did. You must be colorful. You must be a bit, because politics is a game of flamboyance.
Your party had this country for 16 years, and we didn't see any particular serious development. And that was what caused the change. That said, you know what, we want change, and we brought in Buhari. But Nigerians are saying that, can we trust PDP at all? Should PDP even be smelling presidency at all in this situation?
I will give you 2 responses. Number 1 is that what we said PDP spoiled in 16 years has taken APC less than 7 years to make worse. There is a saying in Yoruba, if the gods cannot make our lives better, the gods should live our lives the way they met it. So that is 1. Number two, my advice to PDP, as a PDP member, is that if we want to win, beware of this propensity for big manism. Come down to the people's levels. Showcase men and women of accomplishments. In my article 2 days ago, I already assigned portfolios. You see, there's something I find fascinating in England, where they call it shadow cabinet. So you have the ruling government and you have the opposition government. So the opposition, they already have their own Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Transport, Secretary of Health.
Who's checkmating?
To check, exactly. Yes. So you can now compare that, oh, if Dele gets power. For example, I said Wike will be the first person to become a minister under my government if I had been picked. Why, Mr. Project? Nigeria's shortfall in the area of infrastructure is so bad that you need someone of Wike's capacity, confidence, courage. It doesn't have to be president. I mentioned that we need to work on the judiciary in Nigeria, and that I would recommend, subject to ratification by my party, a man like a Chief Michael Zekume, SAN. This is a man who is so cerebral, so intelligent, and so powerful, such an orator. You need colorful. If there is something you must give to former President Buhari, former President Babangida, and Obasanjo, they had men and women of accomplishments in their team.
Yes.
The Okonjo Iweala you mentioned just now came under Obasanjo. Yeah. Under Babangida, when I went to see him about 3 weeks ago in Minna, I told him, I said, can you imagine you had Professor Balaji Akinyemi in foreign affairs? Today, you might not even know who is who. A lot of the ministers, we don't know their names. So I'm hoping that PDP, number one, in choosing the vice president, go and look for someone who will be able to represent Nigeria.
What zone are you
best?
Oh, it has to be in the south, of course, naturally. South. But everybody is talking south-south. I don't care. It could be south-east. It could be south. I'm from southwest and south-south. You cannot ignore southwest in the equation of things because that is the second largest voting bloc in Nigeria. Northwest, the next is southwest. So if you have someone who covers the two for you, who can mix and mingle, who has access to the youth, who is technology savvy. People call me digital president. I take it very
So if they offer you vice president, you take it?
Oh, why not? I invite for number one. If number two falls in your laps, why not? What's wrong with it? I'm not one of those people who will be pretending. If they don't offer me, it makes no difference. But if they offer me, why not? Why not?
Let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Help me and enlighten me. Many times we talk about VPs, and when we criticize a government, we also criticize the VP. And then the VP sometimes will come up and say, maybe after the administration has passed, I couldn't do anything. The powers that I had were limited. Is it true that a VP really doesn't have enough power to make an impact, separate from maybe an administration that isn't doing well?
It is not true. A VP that is not performing knows why he's not performing. It's the same thing with the president who is not performing. Our problem in Nigeria is that everybody wants to retain his job by force. In Ghana, I have a friend, one of my best friends, the former president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama. He used to go on television and radio and say, look, I know I'm a dead goat. Because when you want to do anything, when you want to change a country, some cabal will fight you. But you must now rise above the cabal by making sure you are not bothered about second term. One of the things killing Nigerians is this second term syndrome because you want to come back. If I'm the president, I will do what I need to do in that first term. In first term, Mahama was able to fix electricity, fix roads, fix new hospitals, fix everything. In Nigeria, people are waiting for second term. And if, like Jonathan, there is no second term, then that's it.
Please, let's go to these owners of Nigeria, this cabal. Who are these people? Who are they? What do they want? Give us names. These big guys. Agbasanjo, what's the other one?
Ibrahim Babangida.
Who?
Ibrahim Babangida.
Babangida, yes. These are the owners.
Lieutenant General Aliyu Guso.
These are the people that you said they're the owners. They're the owners of Nigeria.
Yes.
Gangana, what exactly do?
No. Everywhere in the world, there are people you call I mentioned the Kennedys earlier on. You know, in America, there are institutions. They are institutionalized. If you go to Babangida's house today, you would think you are in Mecca. People are going there every day to see him because he's still relevant and influential. It's the same way people come to me in the media today. If you are relevant, people, I won't say I want to be president of Nigeria if I had collapsed along the line. So the Babangidas, I was with Obasanjo last week. I was with Babangida about 3 weeks. Actually, I started my journey from Baba Obasanjo and then went back to give him feedback last week. It's not that they are going to give you the vote. It's not that they are the ones who will vote, but you draw from their wealth of experience. They will tell you what they see, what we don't see.
Please let me ask, how has their wealth of knowledge helped to build our nation right now? Because I want to believe that when you get to a certain stage, the experiences you've seen, you wouldn't want the younger ones to make the same mistakes. So if they are there as the cabal and the founding fathers and the gods of the land, shouldn't we be drawing things that will help us build our nation for the better?
If you advise your child on something and he says he's wiser than you, what will you do? A lot of times, I am telling you, a lot of times they speak to these politicians. I just told you, the governors are so powerful. They are mini presidents. And they believe, just like you said, the times of the Babangidas and the Obasanjos are past. We don't need them. We need everybody. On the table, you must relate to everybody. That's the wisdom that can make a relevant Southerner get power, a relevant Northerner. Why do you think they would have looked at Tambuwal, Bala Mohammed, Bukola Saraki, Atiku?
And say, who
before them,
represents better?
Correct. That's how it works.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to open our phone lines to call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Do you have a few questions online?
So, next year, by God's grace, the presidential candidates chosen by PDP will be turning, I hear, 76. And, we've been clamoring for a younger person to take up that leadership position. Do you think he is right for what the sort of Nigeria we want to build?
He's my candidate already, and I've told you repeatedly that we support him. Even if I wanted a younger person, we've passed that stage. That is why you must now look, one, for a vice presidential candidate
Maybe
who will be able to complement, of course, the person would have to be younger.
Let me rephrase that question. Do you think we need a younger person? Do you think age should be a factor?
Yeah.
Oh, age is always a factor in everything in life. That's why we have retirement. No.
We are seeing Biden today.
They're all older people. So why is age a factor in Nigeria?
No. Age is a factor in every situation, but there are exceptions.
Okay.
So Atiku is an exception in this case because it took the totality, the generality of our members to say, okay, you are the best amongst 13 of us. So we're going to work for him, but I'm praying that it will not be stampeded again into hurriedly picking. In fact, one of the things I would suggest is what I did already, the shadow cabinet. Let him form a kind of, it might not be binding for now, but let him at least give a peep.
So what it will look like?
What we should expect. Because if he ends up with a colorless vice president.
That's it.
Okay, so YK talks about, the same recycling themselves in power. And you've admitted here that, there's this culture of how the leaders will emerge. It has to be, this permutation of one side, popular side, and the money. Is it ever possible that we change this culture of elitist politics that we do here? So that this leadership quality doesn't necessarily mean you have money, you have the exposure, the big names, and a son of a nobody really can emerge a president or governor in this country?
We're all children of somebody. Not having money does not make you a nobody.
An unknown Nigeria.
No, you will be known. No, it's a popularity
everything.
contest. I was not born with silver spoon. My father was a road overseer working for what we used to call Pong Pong Wahala, the PWD in Ife. He had migrated from the old Midwest to Ife, where he met my mom. My father died when I was 13. My mother was a stark illiterate, let me put it that way. She couldn't speak one word of English, but she knew the value of education. So what you need is someone who has come, what we call the itinerary for the day or Atapata the day, who has come from the lowly of places to arrive at the highest of places.
Okay.
That is the dream. That is the message. No.
By the powers that be.
No. If we were serious about taking power, that is the kind of person we should have promoted. That's why my speech on Saturday was about dreaming. That in 1993, I was in Jos to witness the SGP primary between Atiku, Babagana Kingibe, and MKO Abiola. And I stood there and I was dreaming that one day, maybe the son of Iyagmogon would also be able to do this. And I was proud that on Saturday, the same Alhaji Atiku I saw 29 years ago, I was standing against him. It's the power of dreams.
All right, let me take this call. It's been holding for a while. Good morning, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Okay, fine. I want to go against the notion of Dele Momodu, and I will try to say something. Dele Momodu talk about something that if you can't move us forward, you leave us for where you met us. What does he mean by that? What does Dele Momodu mean by that?
That you should prove
of PDP to totally destroy this country to where it is today. And we all know very well that it's very easy to destroy. Very, very easy to destroy. And find so difficult to build. Even like Chris Popogri house in Abuja that was being destroyed. Do you know how long it takes Chris Popogri to build a house? And it takes just one day to build the house down, to build that building down. And when I want to thank God, Dele Momodu is never been emerged as the aspirant.
Thank you, Mr. Nicholas. I'm not sure you understood the question.
Okay, what he's saying that it's easier to destroy than to build, and so it will take longer for the party in power now to rebuild what was easily destroyed by the PDP. And he made an example of somebody's house demolished.
So if we talk about insecurity, after 7 years, we have a retired Major General in power. So how come he has not been able to fix it? The roads that were started by Jonathan, how come in 7 years we've not been able to complete them? The rail lines that were started, some have been completed, but not in a perfect state, 7 years after. People right now have been abducted. Nigerians, innocent Nigerians. And now politicians have abdicated their throne. Everybody is pursuing his own agenda. Nobody is talking about these people. I was the only one going around, going to Maiduguri, going in the marketplaces to offer hope to the people, going to talk to Sheikh Gumi in Kaduna, going to Cotonou to go and see Sunday Igboho so that we can reunite the whole of Nigeria. Politicians they are just carrying us as if everything is okay in our country.
Let me take a few comments on social media. I'll come back to you, Nima.
Yes.
Let's take a few comments.
Festus Akimbo Yewa says, a northern candidate cannot win the election for APC because Rabiu Kwankwaso has already reduced the chance of the PDP in the north. Only a southern candidate with broad-based supporters in the north can win for APC.
Let me let you hold on for that comment. Okay. This call's holding. Alhaji Zubair from Alimosho, are you there?
Hello?
Alhaji, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Amora, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to your guest, Dele Momodu. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Thank God, sir. I just want Honorable Dele Momodu's comment on the position of the southern governors. You know, the other time they met, they even said they want the president to come to the south. Now, the PDP has done their primary, and they picked the president at the north. So I want you to comment on the position of the southern governors, because there's a lot of things that promulgate that brought that issue. That is that. The second one is the position of this country. As of yesterday, Naira is 700 Naira to $1. The way Nigerian economy has bastardized. I wonder if somebody as a politician is now dosing out dollars, you know, to in the primary, how will he be able to balance the equation the way Nigeria is now? Thank you very much, Honorable Dele.
Thank you, sir. You see, again, the southern governors met, virtually all of them, and they came out with a communique that power must come to the south. I'm not sure if all of them were sincere. You know, people say things for the cameras.
Yeah.
But what happens behind the scene is different. It's obvious that some of them must have supported Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Some of them must have supported Tambua. Some of them must have supported Saraki. As a matter of fact, I knew the ones who supported Saraki. So, and they were from the south. You understand? So if truly they wanted the southern candidates,
They would have supported the
they would have supported. Not necessarily. If they have issues with Wike, there were other aspirants. That's why I offered myself. And I was the only one combining Southwest and South-South.
Okay,
So they have a child of the South, but chose to ignore because, one, he didn't have money. Two, he was not a member of the governorship cabal. On the issue of the dollar, of course, with the dollar rail, but I hear the dollar is coming down now after the
coming down.
That's coming down.
No, I'm telling you. As of this morning, I still checked. It's coming down because people are now changing their money back after collecting the
Money,
dollar.
the delegates are collected. But shouldn't they have been investigation? That's not a good thing.
No, that is why, I beg, that is why those who are teasing Dele Momodu, they don't know the disservice they are doing to themselves. I told some of the delegates, I said, when you go back home, your children will ask you, did you collect dollar? What will be your answer? When you go to your church next Sunday, you will look at your pastor, and your pastor is busy saying, go and collect your PVC. I called the pastor the other day who was preaching about PVC. I said, the PVC to vote for who? To vote for incompetent candidates? It begins from how you pick your candidates.
Okay, so viewers are wondering on Twitter that what kind of counsel would the ex-head of state Babangida be giving you? What does he say? What does Babangida advise you people on? How to totally ruin the country, considering his history?
For me, every human being is important. Every human being has the positive side. None of us is perfect. So, look, I'm happy that my first degree is in Yoruba studies. I have a first degree in Yoruba. And the Yorubas are very similar to the Greeks in terms of philosophy. We're highly philosophical people. Yeah. If you go into Uduifa, you will see the rich, robust philosophy of Yoruba people. So most times, before I take decisions, I will think in Yoruba. I will look into our culture and say how the Omoluabi factor. So what you see in me, going around, meeting everybody, is the Omoluabi in me. And if you go to Babangida, you will see how relevant he is. You will see the number of people coming. Yeah. So one man's meat is another man's poison. So mine is to carry, because when you become president, you become the president of the whole country.
Yes, sir.
Not the president of saints. You are going to govern over saints and sinners. And how you are able to maintain that delicate balance, navigate, meander, that is important.
Let me take this call from Kyle, then I'll come to you, Miriam. Kyle, are you there from London?
Good morning, Maura.
Good morning, you're live.
Abdul, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I just have one issue. Don't you think our constitution needs amendment? Because that is the major cost of the whole thing. You gave an instance of the VP and president. Likewise, the governors. The deputy governors are powerless. They don't have anything doing. I think we should have a constitution that gives them powers, certain powers, and what to do. I think this is one of our problems. That's one of the reasons why the governors are so powerful. As you said, they are just fingered in everywhere they are. So that's why I think, how can we amend our constitution? Which way do we go? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I've always said that you will never have a perfect constitution. And I like to give this example again. My friends, who I respect so much, the Igbos, because I liken them to a combination of the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans, the Indians in terms of intellect. Extremely brilliant. And Nigeria is not making the best use of those talents because by now we should have our own Silicon Valley somewhere in the southeast. That they have dominated the National Assembly. So they keep complaining about marginalization. How come all the Senate presidents from, Ewerem, Okadigbo, Wabara, Nnamani, Payosanyim, how come they've not been able to change that constitution in a way that, for example, there is no reason why Southeast should have 5 states. They are the only ones who have 5 states out of all the regions in Nigeria. Yet your people have been in power. Anyim in particular has been Senate President, has been Secretary to the federal government, which is the engine room of government. Yet nothing has changed. So it is not the duty of the president to change the constitution. It is the job of the National Assembly. So the day the National Assembly is populated by people of conscience, you will see that a lot of things will change. Yes, we need to amend a lot of things in our constitution. Yes, we need to restructure. But it's not just about talking. It's all, what we're doing now is all semantics. We need to be practical. We need to be proactive. We're not. So you can't blame any president for that.
So we have a few comments to you. Bad day guessing. Olariwaju says, should Mr. Dele Momodu should start from the lower political terrain instead of running for the highest office in the land. Why not chairman of a local government? And let me just add to his comments, because here also we're trying to encourage a more participatory grassroots politics. We want best minds, people who understand what it is to do, who understand where it is that we're headed, who understand that development is very important, especially at the grassroots level. Why is it that all our best minds seem to think that the only way they can make a difference is if they're running for the presidential office?
That is totally wrong.
Okay.
It's like saying, why was Oshibajo not a local government chairman? And then, but a Buhari can be his president. I mean, you see, we disrespect substance. Everywhere in the world, it is the duty of self-accomplished people to aspire to higher heights. So if a Dele Momodu, an additional, Akiwumi additional, and Okonjo Iweala cannot be president in Nigeria, and you now recommend go to local government, it is because if you limit your dreams, don't limit mine. I don't have any problem with you. I know why I want to be president. I want to be president because I know I have what it takes to be president. I'm already acting presidential. I'm already interacting with president. Look, this issue of electricity that we all complain about in Nigeria today, I know how a president in Africa wanted to help Nigeria. I was involved in it. I know the people who can fix it. I know what the problem is. The problem is not generation. The problem is transmission. I know the politics of Mambila Power Project. I know all these things. You are telling me go to local government. So when I know what I can do at the highest level, I'm already representing countries.
Yes.
20 years ago, Dubai, the place we all go to now, used to be a place that only traders were going there. They invited me to come and market Dubai to Africa. We changed see Paris and die to see Dubai and die. I have the cover, ovation. We have been doing that for 20 years. I've been going to Sierra Leone to motivate our soldiers. I've been going to Liberia to motivate our soldiers.
Right.
I'm the Kiazolu of Grand Cape Mount County of Liberia, where we were doing great things for other countries, but we can't do it amount of.
Let me
and they want me now to go back to local
Let me
government.
take this call from Dr. Alade Loba. Good morning, are you there? Good morning, Dr. Alade Loba. Hello, sir. Okay, I have a question concerning how does PDP expect Nigerians to trust them, especially when there was an Asaba declaration where we all agreed that power must go to South, number one. Secondly, there's also the dollarization that we saw at the Primaries, where it was clear that you are buying delegates' votes. And you said it yourself with your own mouth that how can I want to be a president when I'm getting there through corruption? So how do I trust a party? First of all, you disregarded the entire South, and then you're sharing dollars to win the ticket for your party. I can't trust you.
How can I trust APC that forced people and they were paying as if they were buying popcorn, 100 million for a form? We paid 40 million. Including serving government officials, 100 million. We see serving government APC officials fly private jets up and down. I know how much it costs to charter. I see serving APM government officials carrying money from delegate to delegate meeting them. APC. We haven't reached that level in PDP. We have been out of power now for nearly 8 years. It is not perfect, but APC for me, and I'm being as objective as possible, is far worse. Because, you see,
I'm asking about your party, you are talking about another party.
No, because I'm in opposition. My job, I am telling you that is why I'm in PDP.
Yeah.
And I've told our friends who talk about, who criticize, go into mainstream political parties. Go. If you like APC more than PDP, go there. So that your impact will be better felt. I am telling you that PDP, I'm sure some of our senior members are watching. They have a lot of work to do. We all have great work to do, at least to persuade you that we are now much serious than we were before. But if it is the same politicians that we gather again, then...
So you see this advice that you've just given. Banky Wellington may not agree with you because he left a fringe party and joined a PDP party. And we heard that he did an election and he won. He was counted in front of, or at least we saw it on social media, and the next thing, his name was not even on the list. He decided to make an impact. He even, you know, when he talks about it, he says, let's leave here, let's join the big party so that we can make a difference there. And yes, so someone like that, and a lot of us are thinking...
Banky is my aburo. Banky is someone that I love like my own blood brother. And I met him in Abuja. These things do happen. But he didn't give up. He came to Abuja, where they told him that amends will be made, and I'm hoping the amends will be made.
Why did it happen in the first place to him?
I've told you, there are characters in every political party.
Oh, wow.
There is even in the small parties. I told you that when I was in Labour, after my 10 million evaporated, I ran. So,
Nima, let me let you jump in. So we have very little time.
Let's come back to a Banky character, for instance, not necessarily the one that
I understand.
If now, I want to first of all ask, are you going to continue to vie in these upcoming elections in 2023? If not,
no, I can't vie again. I've lost already.
Do you have plans to? No, you can always go to another party.
No way. I'm not that kind of character.
Already answered that.
So, do you have the intention to have another at the next general elections, to have a try at it again? And if not, do you have a Banky? Not necessarily the popular one, anybody that you will mentor and say, I've seen your qualities. I think you can be a good leader, and you group that person towards the final goal of the things that you've seen based on the level of experiences that you have had, both sides, all sides. And groom a person that person will possibly become a president.
You see, grooming is not about adoption. It's not about grabbing someone on the street. What I'm doing here is to groom the young ones by educating them. by giving them the history, the analysis of how these things work. I mean, I inspired Banky W way back from Canada. We first met in Toronto around 2006, 2007. And I was one of those who encouraged him to return to Nigeria. Today, see where he is. He was living abroad. So I know how to discover talent, and I know how to nurture talents. But I am telling you, I am reaching out to thousands of young Nigerians now and giving them hope. Those who are teasing Dele and say, oh, you didn't score vote, they don't know what it takes. It has taken Article 29 years to get here today.
Finally score this one.
You understand? 29 years. It's not a day's job. In Ghana, it took John Kufuor 3 attempts before he became the president of Ghana. It took Jonathan Mills 3 attempts before becoming the current one, Nana Akufo-Addo. It took him 3 times. Our own president, it took him 4 times. So you have to build and keep going.
I want to go back to this primary issue.
Yeah.
Because the fact that Tambuwal wanted to make a speech, the second speech, and the fact that even your party chairman described him as a hero when he stepped down, do you think there was a foul play here?
I have no idea. You see, unfortunately, at the time Tambuwal went back, I went to the washroom before I came back. So while I was out there, I heard an uproar. Ooh! You know, there was so much noise. So I quickly called one of my aides inside. I said, what's going on? He said, Tambuwal just withdrew. I said, what happened? Because Tambuwal didn't tell me. I was working very closely with him. I didn't even know he was going to do that. So
he betrayed you too.
So no.
He didn't owe me any explanation
about his decision. The same way I didn't owe him. I had made up my mind anyway. But come what may, I'm not going to pay nobody. And I'm not going to expect
anybody supported
to vote for me.
many years ago. See, that factor is still there.
You are not looking at certain things.
Politics is not...
Politics in Nigeria and in most parts of the world are quite regional in nature. Say what you will from today till tomorrow, Tambuwal will be the hero of his own people. The same way Wike will also be the hero of the South, because we wanted one of us. And Wike, showed capacity to make that happen. Maybe there were mistakes along the way, but he showed serious courage. It's not easy.
He donated money to Sokoto.
No, it's not even about money. It's not even about money. Wike showed so much raw courage, uncommon courage. He was not afraid.
Yeah, at all.
He was not afraid. That is what we should take away from him. That next time, we also need courageous people who are ready to invest where their mouth is. It's very important. You need a lion like this.
How do politicians repair these sort of relationships when they fall out in the open space?
Look, politicians meet all the time. They don't fight. It's their supporters who break their own heads.
That's very important.
Yeah. So, sir, you know, we expected zoning. That didn't happen. What is your party's plan to restructure, seeing that this sort of unitary system of government we are running is not even helping us as a nation? Do you people plan to follow through, or you people are jettisoning that one as well and just focus on the way we've been doing things?
You see, I don't have any such power, and I won't pretend to have what I don't. I'll leave that to our candidate. If I was the candidate and you ask me, trust me, I will tell you 1, 2, 3, 4.
But is the conversation ongoing?
I don't know. I'm here in Lagos. I told you I'm resuming at work. So nobody has invited me to a conversation.
Okay.
When they invite me, then I'll be able to talk appropriately on it. But for now, I have to play safe so that I don't look foolish. You know, when you dabble into what you don't understand, you know.
Fantastic. We have to wrap. Let's take a few more comments. I was going to take a few more phone calls. So as we wrap up, you really spent the time with us today. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Let's take a few comments on
the longest interview in a long time on television. I don't think I've ever done it.
See, as we're looking for comments, let me just ask you this final question, because, and as a Nigerian, and I like the fact you said that you've not lost hope.
No.
Many Nigerians are losing hope on the daily. I mean, many of us want to jack back.
I'm too old.
My inside wants to jack back, but unfortunately, my physical body has to be here.
We're holding you down.
So
even your physical body will be too weak at this age to go and be doing, because you have to start from somewhere there to pay your bills. So
sometimes we don't mind starting over. But you see, I want you to talk to Nigerians. Should we really
have hope? Because sometimes we feel as if we're recycling the same leaders, APC, PDP, no matter who gets there, it's still about their pockets. We don't really trust anybody. So I want you, as somebody who knows them and know us.
All right, let me just add this because it's almost saying what she's saying. King David says, good morning, Honorable Dele Momodu. It's a great honor to watch you live and listen to you. I have only one question. Can we still hope in Nigeria? Because the system is all in a mess. The young ones we talk about are not even giving us hope. Have you witnessed an SUG election?
Yeah, in the schools.
Let me speak directly to fellow Nigerians. I've not lost hope in our country. It is, of course, very tempting to lose hope. No miracle will happen unless we work for that miracle. I remember Chief M.K. Abiola's favorite quote. Hard work is prayer in action. Every one of us must work very hard to save Nigeria. I was begging people to donate 1,000 naira, 500 naira, and I want to thank all those who donated. That is the beginning. You see, because if I had more money, if I had 1 million Nigerians donate just 1,000 naira, that is 1 billion. It takes me closer to my destination. In America, you will hear of young people contributing $5, $10, and before you know it, $1 billion will be raised. But in Nigeria, they will go, Nami be president, Nami be... You see, we joke too much in Nigeria. That's why comedy is very popular. But we should not run comedy about serious affairs. Let our comedians begin to use their power to educate the people. The man who was saying Dele got zero, the comedian, I am repeating here, a comedian is a president in Ukraine. So you too can dream and become the president of Nigeria. Let's stop joking about serious issues. That's all.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you
so much. I hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.